mind if I video you intensely?
Close-ups.
Yes, do close-ups.
I went up to the ranger's tower and said, where can I find a muddy swamp? And they said, beats us. There's one coming up right now. They're little armadillos. Ordinarily when we come here, there is water in this little depression. Tremendous amount of life that is supported by basically a little puddle. Oh, it's an ant and a beetle having a little fight. As the tree deteriorates, a whole life cycle begins for different species. Also, snakes can be in there, so don't step on it.
Eagles nest in dead scrub.
So it's the little stuff that supports the big stuff.
I grew up with those as a kid here in the South. We just called them a common green snake. They're everywhere.
Is that right?
That's what
they're some of the most timid and friendly snakes you'll ever find.
Wow, it'd be hard to see that.
Yeah, I don't know. Steve saw him.
Camouflage. Basically, if you go that way on that unmarked trail, we're going to follow the Blue Blaze Trail. As soon as we start going down, you're going to feel the temperature drop a little bit. You'll notice again the larger trees starting. This is an upland pine forest. This is your traditional southern forest. Forestry has a tremendous program going on of taking out a lot of the sand pine where it doesn't belong, which is more upland, and putting in the longleaf pine because
Water! Boy, this is stuck.
Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing.
But you can see where some animals had come down.
Cladonia subtenuous, the green ones. Cladonia evansii, the puffy ones.
What are the puffy ones? The common name is deer moss, right? And what's the common name of the other one? Do you know?
Dixie lichen.
So the deer eat them. Is that how it got its name?
Yeah.
There are roughly 18 acres of the forest over there. What we've been talking to forestry about, and they're very keen on the idea, is kind of reconstructing a small bridge here to reconnect. You can see the remnants of the trail over there. I'm talking about the wetlands that connect with Eastern Lake. Hike back here and you just sit at the picnic table or something like that and just get, you know, just real quiet. It's amazing all of a sudden the life that starts around you, the birds you start hearing that you maybe didn't hear before. It's a real peaceful place. You just come on around into Eastern Lake and you can come back here. You can't even see them all, but you know there's some wetlands as well.
Fish?
Yeah, there is a whole series of trails up that. The pine log forest out there, for example, where there's nobody around. Then they'll burn a larger chunk. But I'm actually on sort of the citizens board for the forest, and we have a meeting, you know, every now and then, and we go and they show us exactly what their burn schedule is and what part of the forest they're burning. Very, very large one through there. Wow. We call him grandfather. Who knows how old he is. But basically, when they're looking at swamps, they look in terms of its hydro period, because how much water is there and how long it's there kind of determines what type of cypress is going to be predominant in that swamp. Where you have rain-filled ponds, you get a slightly different type of cypress. They call a pond cypress. So they're, you know, a little bit smaller. They can go for a long time without water. Like pine trees, they have to develop a little more tolerance for close proximity fires. There's a lot of speculation about what these knees are actually doing. There does seem to be a consensus that they sort of serve as anchors for the larger trees. But what there seems to be some theory, but they're still looking at it, is whether they actually do any kind of oxygen exchange, gas exchange between the knees and the mother trunk. So the main trunk gets to a certain point, and then it just kind of almost flattens out a little bit, and that again is sort of another characteristic of this environment. So how long is it in water? How much water? What kind of nutrient is it going to be exposed to on a regular basis? And can it handle fire? Is sort of one way they sort of distinguish between the river cypress, or it's not just rivers, it's moving water cypress, and the more, what they call, you know, the pond cypress.
This is really spectacular. Especially with these hollies and
Put you on the spot for a few.
Oh, isn't that pretty? It looks like wiregrass.
yeah, it does kind of, and maybe it is because that's what would be here.
Oh, look at this. They're nocturnal. Occasionally, I accidentally spooked one during the day one time. I didn't see him. And all of a sudden, this little thing sprung up like it was an armadillo. Pretty
Unbelievably surreal.
It is. It is.
Woodpecker holes.
Well, they're alive. Some of them are.
It's not a sand. It's either live or it's a live oak.
I've got sand oaks in mine. So yeah, the wild pigs are starting to thrive again. And we had someone from Fish and Wildlife come over, and he basically said, if you don't want the black bears coming around your house, secure your garbage can.
It's fairly typical. It's one of the rare things where, the more you're exposed, the more it's going to become.
I know.
Oh, and
This is all poison.